but their staff in the service department is the most unknowledgeable, stupid motherfuckers you'll ever meet. What's going on, guys? DJ Limitless here, and today we're gonna be doing a very important video, or a very special video, I guess. We're gonna be talking about what it costs to own my Porsche 944. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So let me tell you a quick brief story about my Porsche 944. The 1984 model with the earlier dash, the more square dash, which I prefer over the 85.5 with the newer dash, because I prefer my car to look a little more 80s, I would say, rather than closer to 90s, because that shows more of the original age. So I know a lot of people wonder, you know, how many people can really afford a car that's sporty and all that. And the reality of it is, fall under two different categories to be able to afford this car. One, you either have to have a lot of time, which means you don't have to have so much money, or you're gonna have to have a lot of money. You know, if you have not a lot of money and not a lot of time, then you really can't afford a sports car like this, I would say. You're better suited to just buy a sporty four-door sedan, like I would say BMW, but BMWs are extremely unreliable, but that's besides the point. You're more suited to buy something else. The other thing you have to take into account is these cars are very old. My car, I believe, is 35 to 36 years old, and that could account for a lot of problems and a lot of reliability issues. I would say overall the car is not horribly unreliable. Like right now, in theory, I could drive it. I have my headers done, but I can't drive it. But the reality of it is you will have to fix something probably every month or every other month. And, you know, the cost isn't crazy. You know, the way I see it is it's closer to a lease payment rather than anything else, but it's a relatively low lease payment. So I made a spreadsheet, which I am going to post in the description, just so you guys can download it and you guys can take a look at it out yourselves. But basically, I believe the total average was about $141 a month. That does not include insurance or oil changes, because those are so random that I can go literally over 10,000 kilometers without doing an oil change because the engine's not burning any oil, which surprises me for its age. Insurance, is very variable. It changes so much that I don't remember what my previous rate was, but at one point I was about to get higher. We told the insurance, you know, we're gonna switch insurance brokers, and then they lowered it. So if you guys are wondering how much that car costs to own with 3 people on the insurance, which would be my dad, me, and my mom, that would be a grand total of $92 a month, which is not awful, actually. It's really good. So it's not crazy expensive in that way. The other thing about that car is you have to remember what kind of car it is. Technically, you can drive anything in the winter if you slap winter tires on it. I would highly advise against it. So it's a summer toy, and that's the reality of it, which does mean the cost does go down during the winter, because you can just have it in parked insurance, which means you don't have to spend a single dollar on insurance. It does mean that's your time. That's your time that you take to repair the car. Right now, I'll be showing you guys later in a bit. But right now, the car is in pieces. I have my front bumper in my kitchen, or my basement kitchen, and the car right now is covered in everything because we're sanding and painting it. Right. One of the previous owners, not the previous owner, but the previous owner, decided it was a great idea, such a brilliant idea, to go to Canadian Tire, buy rattle cans, and spray paint a Porsche. Amazing fucking genius. So you have to be careful about who the previous owners are, because it might be complete and utter retards like the one that owned the car before me, before the previous owner. The car I bought for a grand total of $2,500 with 110,000 kilometers. I bought it 18 months ago. I have all the documentation and everything. If you guys are wondering where I get most of my parts, I would say 90% of my parts come from the dealership. The dealership I always go to is Pfaff Porsche here in the Greater Toronto area in Vaughan. Strongly recommend. The guys are really nice, really knowledgeable. I have never had a problem with them. And, you know, I've been to a couple dealerships. I've been to Polycaro, which is Porsche Center Oakville. You know, it was okay. It was an amazing experience. I've also been to Porsche Center downtown. I haven't bought anything from there, nor from Porsche Center North Toronto. Really nice people overall, especially I've met the service department at Porsche Center downtown. Really nice people. I haven't really met too many people from Porsche Center North Toronto, so I can't tell you experience there. But from my experience, Pfaff Porsche has always been extremely nice to me, and always really have been there to have a helping hand with all the parts, amazing support, everything. I just can't say enough nice things about those guys, because they really are. I can call them at any moment and they'll order anything and have it shipped from as fast as possible. And, you know, they always overestimate how long it's going to take, and everything is just, it's wonderful. I have no complaints about them. In terms of the cars, some major drawbacks, I would say, if you don't get the 16-inch wheels, It's a bitch and a half to get tires. It really sucked. I also added tires into my costs. I needed to get fronts and rears. So for the fronts, I need to get my car aligned because my car was in an accident. So, you know, it is what it is. I'll explain that story in a little bit. But it wasn't the tires, Canadian Tire, they were stupid fucking money. You know what? Let me pull up their receipt right now. So right here, I have a little folder, Porsche 944. And so Canadian Tire, don't ever fucking go there. They're a bunch of cocksuckers. That's the reality of it. So these motherfuckers, is this quote? No. So we had a quote. Fuck, do I have that? The quote was for $750 for 2 tires. 2 fucking tires. So without telling us, they were adding on things. They were adding tire storage, cost of every single thing. And I'm like, no, motherfuckers, we're not paying for that bullshit. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? So they kept trying to add and trying to sell me all this shit. The grand total of the tires, which were overpriced, by the way, because they're fucking Motomasters S3s, SE3s, and they're basically Cooper's cheapest tire. Per tire cost was $138 each. The total came out to what does that say? $323. All right. Me and Andy, the Sim King, split this cost because we were both needing to drive to Buffalo because we were taking a flight to Florida from Buffalo. We went to Ultra 2019. So we took the car to Buffalo and did that there. But I would never fucking go to Canadian Tire. Fuck Canadian Tire for this. Fucking retards for that. Here, while I'm at it, I'll show a couple of receipts. Here, just I believe this was registration. So here I have one Napa, okay? And all this here is FAF. This is all FAF receipts. So you guys can get an idea how many receipts there are. And it's not all of them. I lost a few of them, but, you know, it is what it is. So I have quite a few FAF receipts. Here's my registration. More registration shit? Yeah. Bill of sale? Yeah. So, you know, it's bad when they were about to charge me more than if I went to FAF, got Pirelli P5000s or 6000s installed on the car and everything. They were going to charge me more than if I went to Porsche themselves. So, with all due respect, never fucking go to Canadian Tire. They're the most stupid place you can ever buy anything from. I do buy a lot of things from them. I have their MasterCard though, because I basically get my oil changes for free because I only use their MasterCard. But their staff in the service department is the most unknowledgeable, stupid motherfuckers you'll ever meet. They're so dumb. So ignore the little rant. Other than that, I would say I have had nothing but amazing experiences in this car. It's well worth to own a car like that. At $141 a month, you know, and that doesn't include insurance or oil changes, because again, those are very variable. Depends how much you drive. But for me, I do them so randomly. I don't even know where my receipts would be. I probably have done like 3 or 4 oil changes. But the car has just been wonderful. I couldn't recommend this car enough to anyone. Like, it has been so, like, minus the labor and all that. And, you know, sometimes you get fed up when there's an issue. My radiator broke one time. It was like $200 to fix, because I got another one off a guy. Steering linkage I upgraded to a better, less worn out version, because before, first would feel like third. It was fucked. But the driving experience was so incredible. I went on a drive with the PTN guys. Here, I'll show a video right about now. And it was so extraordinary. I know I was pushing it a little hard when I was keeping up with GT3s. That was kind of a problem. And I knew when my oil pressure was basically saying you got no oil, because I basically turned that bitch from 20W50 to like 0. But it was such an amazing drive, and I loved that car. You know, one time I went to a PTN dim sum run, which I believe I have a sticker on my window, where we went to go with dim sum. It was a 2-hour run. Right at towards the end, I was like, well, what now? And I'm just eating with the guys. They're just having a nice time chatting it up. And then I was like, well, let's might as well head to a Sega, because I mean, we are in a classic sports car. I took off the sunroof, had a blast on the way there. It's incredible. It was so damn good that I would say if you're not pushing that car and not having fun with it, you're doing something wrong. It was such an amazing experience. Things you have to keep. Well, actually, here, let me tell you some positives about it too. Some positives about it is the interior is really well made, no rattles or anything. And I used to have a 12-inch sub. Now I have a 10-inch in the back, and I crank the music. I have an amp underneath my seat. I have a Kenwood deck. I love it. I switched out the speakers to the Kicker CS series. I'll put the link up here. And it's incredible how well the interior is made. There's some things I gotta fix, mainly because I'm working around the car and fixing certain things. But it's just incredible. You can get some really good sound quality out of that car. Not the best. It's not the best sound isolated car in the world, but it's decent. The brakes blew my mind one time we were on the PTN runs, and we were doing a very, very fast speed in Mexico. But unfortunately, I go over a crest and I just see red lights, red lights, red lights, and it's just a bunch of cars. And I see my speedometer and I said, we're gonna crash. I told the guys, this is it, boys. I slam on the brakes and we stopped with time to spare. It blew my mind. Since that moment, I said these brakes are no joking matter. They are impressive. I wish they were the Brembo ones, but they're made by a company, I believe, called ATE. Whatever they are, they're fucking amazing, and I love them. I bought 2 sets of Hawk pads, which I'm gonna slap on once the car's back up and running. My headers cracked though, which was not good. My brother did weld them, and they did work nice for about 2 weeks, and then they all cracked. All 4 of them, they're all fucked. So I'm either gonna get Lindsay Racing or gonna go to Zorro Muffler, which did my exhaust, and get that fixed. By the way, shout out to them. They're really good at what they do. Fuck you to the cop that pulled me over saying my car sounds like a jet fighter. One day I was fucking sick. This fucking guy he had it out for me. I didn't have a front plate because my bolts were rusted. So at any moment they come off. So I just had my front plate. We're going to the body shop, and the cop's just being a complete and utter prick. Like fucking police here in Peel, the most fucking this awful motherfuckers. They're all pigs. But other than that, like, I love the car. What else have I had? I have a leak. I blew the line. I blew the power steering line on a PTN run. I was pushing it a little hard. I also stripped. I didn't strip. A bolt cracked. I didn't do anything to that. I took it out and I retapped everything. Everything's working nicely. I'm probably gonna replace that part. If the steering rack is attached to the subframe, I'm gonna replace that with the new bushings. My engine does have a crack, but I found that it's actually relatively common. I found a couple forums saying they had the same crack, so it's not a big deal. I'm just gonna hopefully get my brother to weld it, and hopefully that'll be fixed. It's not in a major place. All it does is it really just leaks oil. It's just more annoying rather than anything else. So I don't really care too much. Like, it is what it is. I also have to replace my lower oil pan gasket, which I heard is a nightmare from another gentleman in the PTN group chat. And I really am not looking forward to that. Shout out to that guy too. I believe his name is Dan. He has a 996. He gave me an air compressor, which I'm hoping to get AC running in the car. So that will be a very interesting project. Other than that, there's not a lot to say other than my cost of ownership realistically, if we were to include insurance, is about $250 a month, which is not crazy bad, but keep in mind you're also doing the labor, right? And that would say that even includes oil changes in reality, because, right, keep in mind there's 3 people on the insurance for this vehicle, and that's quite a bit of people. I would say if you ever have the opportunity to buy a 944, buy one with a good body, because fucking body work on that car sucks so bad. It's a nightmare. It's a complete nightmare. I'd rather do engine work than body work, because I am clumsy as fuck. But luckily the previous owner, Flav, which you'll see him either in the next video or the previous video. I'll put the link up. I don't know. Yeah, I can link videos. Where's my rate? Yeah, this should be it. Here-ish. I was trying to think because of YouTube. But anyway, he sold me the car, and, he's an amazing person. World class, to say the least. He's a perfectionist on a whole nother level. And, he said he's going to help me with the car. So, I know I'm going to be in safe hands when I work on the car with him. Other than that, let's go take a look at the car. And that way you guys can get a rough idea of how it's looking right now. Right now it looks really fucked up. But, it's a bit of a project right now. But I'm so excited. I miss that car. I miss it so much. I've been driving my parents' Lincoln MKX, the Tiger. And the Bubble, which is the 2010 Nissan Versa. And honestly, I can't stop missing my car. There's just something, even though it's so poor in so many ways, it's so quirky. Once you drive that car, the distribution, what you can do with it is just it's amazing. I knew it was bad when I was slapping G35s, and I'm like, damn. Oh, another thing, my car is actually tuned, just so you guys know. I don't know who tuned it, but it is tuned. But yeah, one time we were in Mexico, and what happened was we pulled up at a light. There was another guy, his name's Sid. He has a Mazda Speed 3. He was in the gas station. He saw us, and me and this blue G35 go at it, just full on, literally like drag style race, clutch dumped and everything. And I knew it was bad when I was passing him, and I'm like, my guy has 2 extra cylinders. How do you still lose with 2 extra cylinders? The most stupid thing ever. That to me just showed me the quality of the car, and that I could actually handle a lot. And, I gave that car so much abuse that I feel bad sometimes. But at the same time, it has, when you needed it the most, it really comes through. It's a car that you don't know when you're going to need it, but when you need that speed and power, it could be an emergency one night at 3 in the morning, 2 in the morning. My mom had stones, kidney or gallbladder, I can't remember. And she was in so much pain. I've never seen her in so much pain. She was crying. And at that moment, all we had parked outside was my car because I don't know why. I believe my dad was at work. My dad was out of the country for work, and all we had was the car just sitting outside. So obviously it's very uncomfortable, but the car was so buttery smooth. At that moment, I didn't have an exhaust or anything. That was straight pipe. But it was funny because on a certain road when my mom was in so much pain, I was able to do 120, probably more actually, kilometers. We're in Canada. I would say probably closer to 150. And my mom did not notice. The car was just gliding across everything, just absorbing everything. It was so smooth, my mom didn't notice. We got to the place, which is supposed to be about a 15-minute drive, in 6 minutes. I was flooring it. My mom didn't even notice. It blew my mind. Andy arrived. Luckily, everything was okay at the end, but that's one of those moments of panic where you get woken up at 2 in the morning because someone's crying in pain. It's just like, I just need to get somewhere ASAP, and I don't give a fuck what's on my way. Like, I don't care if there's a cop or whatever. Like, I'm not stopping for anyone, right? You know, they're not my priority. My family's my priority, and that's something I'll always keep to heart. So I didn't care, and the car performed admirably there. And it's one of those things that I love about it. And luckily, clearly, the car has made a very good impression on my family itself. You know, although most of my family are like, you know, we're talking, if you're in the Greater Toronto area, most of my family is the Oakville parents, you know, let's go green, let's go drive cars that, you know, you can't make it home without air conditioning, or with air conditioning, sorry. You know, you have to turn off the AC and come home sweating, the uncomfortable thing to save the environment and all that, yada, yada, yada. But overall, the car has been so good, and everyone that goes in there and drives it and has a ton of fun. My neighbors driven it and all that, and has had so much fun. And I really have no major complaints about the car. The reality is, you have to drive a 944 or any of the front engines except the 924 because that's a Audi engine. You have to drive a Porsche to know what it's like, to understand why you love the car. And my dad one day switched his mind all of a sudden when his car was the Lincoln, which you guys don't know. I'll post a story time about that car later. But the Lincoln was broken again, and my dad had to take my car to work. So I have Sirius XM, so my dad loves country music. He's a closeted country guy. So I put country music on Sirius. He takes it to work, comes back. When he's arriving back, I hear the music blasting. You could hear it from 2 blocks away. My dad was having the time of his life. Sunroof was kicked open. Everything was admirable for him. And he says the funniest thing to me, and I go, so how was it? He goes, it's good, but at 110 kilometers, there's a weird vibration, but it goes away after 140. And I said, Dad, how the fuck do you know that? And he replies to me, son, it's a sports car. It's meant to be driven. And that's the moment I said, oh shit, this man changed his mind, because this guy is like the most anti-speeding guy. But for him to say that car had to impact him in such a way to the point where he's like, oh yeah. So right now, my dad, I guess he fell in love with the Porsche brand due to the car. And since then, you know, he loves the Panamera. That's his dream car. My mom's is the Cayenne. And we're hoping that one day we could give my mom her dream car of a Cayenne. Preferably the S, nothing more than that, or else she's going to get nothing but tickets, but we don't know what's going to happen. Anyway, this has already been a long enough video of me telling you dumb bullshit, so let's go take a look at the car right now. So right here, as you can see, Wendy's missing a front bumper, although she kind of reminds me of an F12 TDF. I don't know why, but you know, that's just how it looks like. As you can see, the sunroof is actually beside the CVJs. We've been sanding and priming. I gotta sand this now that it's all primed, and I'm just gonna give it one more prime. The hood is primed mostly. I just gotta do a couple more spots, but I ran out of primer. And right now Christmas has been killing my wallet, so I'm not gonna spend any money. Let's take a look on the inside. As you can see, it's all been covered up. I just wanna make sure that everything's nice. I have my mirrors down there. Repair manual from Haynes or whatever. Really good. Those never fail. I got a little hockey puck there. I remember we went to the Rib Fest in this car. We're just having a blast. The sunroof, we went to a show thanks to a PTN guy, drive-in, and we just sat on the roof. It was super nice. The ashtray, very useful if you want to relive the 80s. Here I have a walkie-talkie for PTN. Other than that, I used to have an iPad mounted there, but it looks like we might try to replace this here with a screen to have Android Auto. I don't know, we're still figuring it out. Here's my Kenwood deck. I have a Kenwood under there. Let me see if I can get the camera further back enough. This I gotta fix. It's just a little stuck all the time. But here is my... Yeah, you really can't see shit. But anyway, right there's a box with the sub. Smells like the 80s in here. Old leather smell, really good. It looks like a backpack in there. I don't know from whom, but yeah. Here I have a USB port in here that I put in. And this is actual Alcantara. I found the place that sold it, so I just got it. And Momo wheel. Yeah, I would say I wouldn't replace this car. You know, I know there's better cars. I know a Cayenne is faster. I know a Cayenne is more comfortable and more reliable, but there's nothing like a classic Porsche, and you have to drive it to feel it. And, you know, if you haven't never driven it, go get a rental, and then you're going to be like, oh, so that's what he's talking about, right? Here's a replacement Porsche badge that we had. It's cracked here, but we got it for like 60 bucks. Came with a Cayenne. Because the previous badge, I don't know if you can see it anymore now. With the Prime, I fixed it. But there used to be a scratch there. Someone, before me, before I owned the car, they went with a screwdriver, jammed it, and stole the badge off the car, which kind of sucked. But, you know, it is what it is. So we got a replacement one. What else? That's kind of about it. You know, progress is slow but steady. That's kind of this. So the car, I was going to tell you when I got hit, there was an idiot who ran a stop sign and said, no, I had the right of way. And then he changed his story. And I'm like, it's the one time I don't have my dash cam on and it cheesed me. But since then, I had my dash cam wired into my car. So that way when I turn on the car, it automatically turns on. Over there, you can actually see the wire for my radio and my amp. It's a massive wire. I should probably replace the battery soon. But anyway, so I love this car. I wouldn't replace it. I would say if you guys are thinking about getting a 944, you know, they're not crazy expensive to own and maintain. Right here, I'll show you some of the things while I'm at it. So that way you guys can get an idea of really, I'll go a little more in depth now. Here's everything, you know. As you can tell, there's a couple Pelican, but these are all one order. This is all FAF. So you'll see total. That means from here to here was individual, was one order. A lot of things I ordered from there. Parts numbers and all that. Hawk brake pads. Veyron, he's one of the guys that sponsors PTN. And here you can see the actual figures. Oh, never mind. So because I've owned the car longer and I haven't put more money into it, the cost of ownership went down to $113 a month. That's how many days I've owned the car for. That's how much per day it costs to own that car. Every day it costs $5. Grand total of spending, not including paint, because I'm going to add that all after, is $2,500. So right there, you guys can take a look. You guys can make an informed decision based on that if you guys want to buy the car. Like I said, you either need a lot of money or a lot of time. If you have both, even better. But not a lot of people have both, so you have to pick your poison. And based on that, I would say if you can, get the car. It's an amazing car. Strongly recommend. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you hit subscribe, like, comment if you believe this is not a real Porsche because it's for an engine. And I don't know, hit notifications. I don't know what I'm going to pull. It's just like the most random YouTube channel you'll ever see. Like it'll be RC one day, cars one day, music the other. Like, I don't fucking know. But anyway, you guys can go ahead and take a look at what you guys like. And I honestly would recommend the car, and I can't say enough nice things. Anyway, like the mirror says, peace.